Namaste. I'm Lynn with Yoga Me Fit. Thank you for joining me for practice today. Today's practice is Hanumanasana, and that's just a Sanskrit word for split. So we're going to be working on our splits today, opening up the front of the hips, the thighs, the hamstrings, and also creating strength before you can actually go deeper into your expansive splits. You want to cultivate strength. How we do that? Power. Power will be a principle that we use to cultivate muscular stability. You want to feel like the muscles are really wrapping around your bones and your joints to create stability and space in your joints. Another quality that will develop in Hanumanasana is devotion. Devotion in the heart. And you can set your intention for your practice with your devotion, because power comes from that devotion. We'll work on learning how to deepen and draw the thigh bones deeper into the pelvis, into those hip sockets, because you need good structural integration to be able to deepen and get that expansive in your splits. Where did Hanumanasana come from? Well, Rama is this king of ancient India, and Ramana is this demon king in Sri Lanka. And Ramana abducted Rama's wife Sita. And so he got really upset and decided to assemble his troops and go get Ravana to get his beloved Sita back in his arms again. So they set out, but what happened is Rama's brother Lakshmana, he became severely wounded in the battlefield. So there was a specific herb that he needed to be saved or he was going to die, but it was located in the Himalayas. So Hanuman said, I'll go, because he is such a devotee of Rama. He wanted to go because he wanted to please Rama. So Hanuman set off to take that big grand leap of faith. And when Hanuman took that mighty leap, he stretched all the way from South India to the Himalayas. And then, not knowing once he got there, what herb do I get? He just picked up the whole mountain, and then he leaped back into the battlefield, and the healers picked the herb that would save Lakshmana, and then Lakshmana was saved, so they were able to go on their way to retrieve Sita back. Such a beautiful story that Hanuman just loves his king Ramana so much, that he had so much love and devotion for him that he took that mighty leap into that expansiveness to be able to please him. So that's what we're working on today. You'll need a block, maybe 2 blocks, a strap, and a blanket if your knee is sensitive. Let's get started. We'll begin today in child's pose. So if you'll come to your mat, open your knees wide, bring your 2 big toes to touch, reach your seat back towards your feet, and then slowly stretch forward, lengthening through your spine. Allow your forehead to release toward the ground. Take a moment to tune into your breath. Fill from the belly up into the ribs, the chest, and the throat. Hold. And then slowly exhale, feeling the chest fall, the ribs move back, and the navel center move back toward the spine as all the air empties. Do a few more rounds of deep inhalation and exhalation at your pace. Beginning to build that power internally through the breath practice. Complete the last cycle of breathing that you're on. Return back to your normal involuntary breath. Take a moment to pause, soften, and feel. Ground through the foundation of your hands. Lift the arm bones and deepen the shoulders into the back body. Create some stability from fingertips to shoulder tips. On your inhale, lift, look toward your fingertips. Exhale, push up to hands and knees. Bring your knees back underneath your hips. Tuck your toes under from here and then slowly start to move into your downward facing dog pose. Take a moment to pedal out the legs, releasing any tension through the body, feeling the stretch through the back line all the way down into the calves and the Achilles tendon. Complete the last side from which you began. Find your stable downward facing dog here. Hold that stability here. Even gently round towards your navel a little bit to get that lift through the lower belly so you have better core stability and structural integrity through your four cornerstones, the shoulders and the hips. On your next inhale, root through the left, pull up through the right, coming into your three-legged downward facing dog. Now gaze back. Make sure that you're doing internal rotation of that right leg. Inhale. As you exhale, draw the heel to the buttock. Inhale. As you exhale, now open up that right hip, bringing it toward the left hip. Knee moves toward the sky. You want to be conscious that you're not dumping into your shoulders or your arms. So your hands are strong like roots. And I want you to lift those arm bones toward the sky to expand and open through that right hip a little bit more. You want to move from the hip back through the foot. So think about moving from the stabilizing joint. On your next inhale, wrap that leg back through to center, stretch back into your three-legged downward facing dog. And as you exhale, you're going to reach through and step to the front of your mat into a high lunge position. If you need your blocks, this is where you can bring your blocks on either side of your foot to create a little bit more stability for you. So find what works for you. Inhale, you're going to pull the spine forward and stretch back, engaging the top of this left thigh. As you exhale, begin to reach back with your hips. And I want you to look back and be conscious that you're not externally rotating that left hip out, wrapping that left hip forward. Inhale, bend, deepen. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend, deepen. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. And exhale, extend. Hold here for a few breaths, inhaling. If you need to come up a little bit because it's too much, you can always flip your blocks up and come a little higher. And if you're just really tight and that leg won't straighten yet, that's okay. Stay with it. Keep that devotion because over time it will certainly expand for you. Complete the last cycle of breathing that you're on. And then we're going to slowly just walk to the long side of our mat. Turn your toes toward the long side, coming into standing straddle split, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Stay pressing through the ball of your foot. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. Hold here, breathing. Engaging through the inner thighs and groins also. So as much as you press out through your pinky toe side to keep the arches of the feet lifted. Hug the thighs toward each other. And then you can feel the muscles pulling and wrapping the bones in the joints here. On your next inhale, root down, rise halfway up. Exhale, hold. We're just going to pivot over to the left side now. So you're just going to turn that left foot to the left side of your mat. Spin your right heel up. Plant your hands. Inhale, stretch that left leg back. Exhale, release. We're meeting in the downward facing dog pose, just facing the opposite side of your short edge of your mat. Inhale, bring that left leg up, three-legged downward dog. Exhale, draw the heel to the buttock. Inhale, open now that left hip, stacking it on top of the right. Keep that right arm strong, so being conscious you're not dropping into the shoulder or that elbow. On your next inhale, wrap it back through to center, coming into your three-legged downward dog. As you exhale, you're going to step it through, coming into that lunge. Grab your blocks if you need them in that high lunge. Inhale. As you exhale, the key word here is to begin. Begin to stretch back into the hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lengthen. Good. Inhale, bend. Feel your spine lengthen forward. Press back through your right heel. Engage this thigh. That's important. And exhale, stretch it back. Take one more. Inhale, deepen into your lunge. And exhale, stretch back into your pyramid. Hold and breathe, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. On your next inhale, bend the knee. You're going to walk right back to the side of your mat. Spin your feet toward the long edge of your mat. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, release it down. Take a couple of deep inhales and exhales, working those action to create muscular stability from feet to pelvis. Lift those kneecaps, engage those thigh muscles so you can open through that back line. On your inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, walk your hands and flip your right foot toward the front of the mat, coming back into that lunge position here. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to step forward, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, deepen. So if you have a lot of tightness, bend the knees as much as you need to. Bring your blocks under your hands and make it accessible to you. Stay with your breath here. Completely empty. Feel everything releasing. Feeling that lengthening through the spine as the legs stay strong, the feet stay grounded. On your next inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. You're going to step your left foot back into a lunge position here. Hold here. And then you're going to gently drop that left knee down. Make sure that you come above the kneecap and you're not directly on the kneecap. And if your bones are sensitive, this is where you'll bring that blanket under that knee for support. Then I want you to draw that pelvis forward to where you feel more stretch through the front of the psoas and the hip and the thigh here. Be conscious that as you pull forward, now we have to stabilize or we're just hanging out and dumping and compressing into our hip sockets. So I want you to scissor the legs Envisioning that you're drawing the left leg forward and the right leg back as if you're squeezing a ball between your thighs here. So this is the action pulling in towards your center. That'll help you also lift up through your spine here. You can use your blocks, of course. We're going to move this now towards a runner stretch. So we're going to extend. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slowly move the hips back, being conscious that you're not twisting your hips or dumping into your hips. So really trying to find symmetry here. Press out through the ball of your foot and stretch your spine to the front of your mat. Inhale, bend, lengthen, open. Exhale, move the hips back as you slowly start to stretch that right hamstring. And this is another point. If it's really tight, you know, if this is all you have today, that's all you have today. Inhale, bend again, deepen. And exhale, extend. Hold the extension here, breathing deep into the body. I want you to create some stability. So even though the heel is down, but you're pulling back, like you're dragging energy from the heel to the sits bone, and you're engaging by lifting the kneecap and the thigh. This is that muscular stability I'm talking about that I want you to create power from to keep your joints and bones safe and your muscles safe. On your next inhale, slowly come forward here. We're going to move right into lizard. Some of you may want your blocks, so you can bring your blocks and start to work your forearms down. If both forearms don't come symmetrically down, then you need more height. So add whatever height. You might need 2 blocks. Whatever that is, I want you to find where you can rest equally through the upper body. And you're hugging your right thigh in. So we're not pushing that right thigh away yet. So hug it in towards your rib cage. Stay balanced through the 4 cornerstones of that right foot as you draw it in, and breathe deeply here. Using the breath as your power force to nourish all those muscles and tissues that you're working with. Really giving them some nourishment and some nutrients just through your breath. Now from here, you can start to open the right thigh away. You want to be conscious that when you roll to that side, the ankle is still supported and you're not dumping into the ankle. So push out through that big toe ball mound right there, and that'll keep your ankle safe. And then you can work on expanding from that right inner groin out through that right knee, deepening into those inner adductors. Take one more full deep inhale and exhale in your variation of lizard. And then we'll slowly walk our hands back to the inside of the foot. Draw that leg in. Now take your right hand outside and you're going to heel toe the right foot over to the left, and you're going to drop the right knee down. So if you are tight, pull this foot back more toward the front of this thigh. If you want more stretch, bring that foot away. And then you're going to work, tuck your back toe under, and I want you to work on wrapping, doing some more internal rotation with that left hip to square your pelvis to the front of your mat, and then re-ground through the top of the foot. Same thing that you did in that low lunge. I want you to work on scissoring the legs toward each other so you feel that muscular support and lift. Then you're going to slowly walk back. If you need your blocks, bring your blocks back underneath your hands, and then slowly open your chest, open your throat. Feel that devotion in your heart. Feel the power of your strength of your lower body supporting you to expand that devotion in your heart. Take a few more deep breaths here. One more. And then from here, you're going to slowly release your palms back down. Tuck your back toe under, lift the back leg, stretch that right leg back into three-legged downward facing dog. Draw the heel to the buttock again, open up that hip again. Maybe you have a little more space to open into here. Inhale, come back to center. You're going to exhale, look forward, step that foot back forward again, and then release the back knee down. You're going to draw that left heel towards your buttocks. Some of you may need a block. So if you need a block, go ahead and bring your hand to that block. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, you're going to reach back, catch that foot, and work on drawing it inward toward that left buttock. And then inhale, lengthen from tail to crown. As you exhale, deepen that spinal twist. On your next inhale, wrap back, release the foot back down again. Tuck your back toe under, lift the back knee, and then stretch that right leg back, three-legged dog. Slowly release that right leg down from here. Take a moment just to bicycle out your legs, releasing any tension through your legs that you might feel. And then we'll stretch that left leg up behind us. Slowly bend, step all the way through here. You're going to release that back knee to the earth. Make sure you get above the kneecap here so you're not directly on the knee, and you're pressing your pelvis forward so you can feel the stretch through the front now of the right hip and thigh. Please use your blocks if you need them. Inhale, lengthen upwards. As you exhale, begin to stretch the hips back. Keep your foot symmetrical. So if your foot starts to sickle, that's just your body compensating for the tightness through the back of your hamstring. So see if you can press through the ball of your foot as you dig the heel down and pull back to feel that engagement through here. Inhale, bend, deepen. Exhale, extend, reach. Inhale, bend, back to lunge. Exhale, extend. Hold your runner stretch here. Make any adjustments or refinements that you need. And just allow this energy of the heart to soften, staying active through the lower body, being mindful to not push yourself beyond that edge to where you could injure yourself. Because if you ever tear right at the sits bone, where the tendon attaches the muscle, it's very painful and it's very, it's a process to heal. So it takes time. On your next inhale, you're going to slowly come back into that lunge position, and we're going to move right into that lizard. So you're going to bring your hands on the inside of that left foot now. You can stay here if it's enough, but if you're ready, you can start to walk out. As you walk out, bring your forearms down and just allow yourself to completely surrender and release into that. Breathe deeply there. So remember, if you are not able to get both arms down equally and one's stuck up, this is where you want your blocks. Because I want you to try to create as much support as you can through both sides of your body. From here, you're going to open up now that inner thigh and groin. You're going to put more weight on the outer edge of your foot here. But remember, you're pushing through the big toe side so the ankle stays supported instead of dumping in your ankle. So watch that. And as you come back into your lizard, just find your variation that works for you and breathe into it, using your inhale and your exhale. From here, you're going to draw that leg back in, press into the inner edge of your foot, walk your hands back up, and then bring your left hand outside of the left leg. Heel toe your left foot over to the right side of the mat. Release the knee down, and then adjust the shin and the foot to where it's enough for you. You want to make sure you kind of kick that right leg or work it back a little more to get closer toward the earth, but also wrap that right hip forward. So notice when you do that, when you wrap the right hip forward, it automatically moves the left hip back. You're trying to square both of your hip points toward the front of the mat. Walk your hands back up. Find your support, your stability. Remember that muscular stability is scissoring the legs toward each other. If you feel like you're rocking over into the hip, that's where you can put a block or a blanket under this glute, and then work on distributing the weight equally through the left and right side of the body. Although you feel like you might want to dump toward that left side, pull some power into the right side to create symmetry and support equally. Slowly from the pigeon position, you're going to walk your hands forward again. Tuck your back toe under, lift the back leg, and then stretch that left leg back. And then slowly step that left foot back forward. Release the knee. Press the pelvis forward, scissor the legs, bend that right heel in. Inhale, stretch your left arm up. Exhale, reach back, catch the foot, and then slowly begin to deepen into that twist. Inhale, untwist, come back through to center, tuck your back toe, lift your knee, stretch that left leg back now, draw the heel in toward the buttock, open that hip and see if it feels any different after doing all that deep work that we just did, prepping our body toward Hanumanasana. Slowly bring it back through to center, and then just release your knees down for a moment. We're going to work with our blocks today for the Hanumanasana, and we're going to take it and split it in a few different pieces. So we'll first come up, and we'll come back with the right foot forward, and you're going to press your pelvis forward here, and if you need that blanket under your knee, please do that. If you know you're tight, take that block and bring it right under your hamstring, right into the center point of it or the meaty part of it. You can use your other block to help you stabilize. Add that scissor action, and then you're just going to slowly start to stretch that leg forward. So this would be a variation that you could work in here to work on deepening and opening. And it always feels so good when the muscle gets pressed back toward the bone. This is when the muscle gets pulled away from the bone. That's when you have that injury and that inflammation and tear. Okay, so this is one way. You're going to slowly you can bring it out to the side and bring it back in if you need to. And now we're going to work on moving the back leg back. So if you need your blocks, use your blocks, but you're going to lift up and you're going to slowly start to just bring this leg back, little by little. And you just go to where you can and you'll hold that and breathe. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And the way I like to practice this when I was learning it, I always worked the back leg. For some reason, maybe because I felt like I was a lot tighter in the front than in the back of my hamstrings. But just play with both. That's why I dissected it for you. So you could work it stretching from the front leg out and then bending the front leg and stretching as far back with the back leg as you can. And then another great way to start to work into your splits is just open it out a little bit so the heel can come off the mat. And then you can start to slide out and just work it that way. So you can pull in. I'm scissoring my legs toward each other. I'm keeping that. And then I'm slowly releasing back down. So that opening, instead of it being straight in front of you to begin with, this is giving you a little more space to work into. And then slowly come up, walk your foot back in, bring your hands down, lift your back knee, come back to down dog and just cycle it out for a moment. Come to down dog, stretch your left leg up. As you exhale, step through. Release your back knee back to the mat. Make sure you have your block with you. We're going to untuck the toe, press down. Going to slowly start to come back. Going to start to slide that leg forward. You can bring this block right here. You can start to slowly move that back until you can bring your leg to the block. And then when this feels like, when you feel like you can scissor the legs and keep that stability and you don't need your block here, then you can start to open it a little more. So maybe bend it, flip the block, see if you can go a little deeper. And then just little by little, you work yourself all the way into the full split, just like we did on the first side. So we'll bring this leg back in now, and then we'll work on continuing to bump that right knee back. Notice how this left knee starts to go back too, and you're trying to get as much of that front thigh on the ground as you can. So it's harder to slide on the mat if you were trying to slide out. So just heel toe that foot over and then work on sliding it out here. Then you can pull it in. So maybe this is where you are with it. Then just little by little, you play with it. This is part of the practice and devotion, because it takes a lot of devotion to be able to eventually open these places while utilizing your power and strength to create stability and support. You'll come back up. Bring your hands to the front, lift the back knee, stretch that left leg back, and then slowly release. Go ahead and bring your knees down. Open your knees wide, 2 big toes to touch. Bring your seat towards your feet, then just stretch all the way out. Maybe you bring your chin to the mat, your forehead. On your next inhale, slowly come back up. We'll take a seat now. Start with Sukhasana, coming in a comfortable cross-legged seated posture. Flex your toes back and sit tall. Close your eyes. Feel all of that wonderful energy that you've created in this practice today. On your next inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Join your palms to seal the energy of this practice of Hanumanasana, and then bring it into the heart, honoring that devotion of your heart. And also, thank you for sharing your power and your enthusiasm to move through this. So if you like my work, please subscribe to the channel, and please comment if you want more of something. I'm here to serve you from my heart to yours. Namaste.